Welcome to KDKP Noire. I'm K Noire, and today we've got a lot of stuff we're talking about: K-pop, K-drama, a little bit of both, which was what we do. But stay tuned. Get into our first topic of the day. We're talking none other than Min Jin. She knows how to keep the people talking, including me. So we're talking her latest wins in the Seoul District Court last week. She won. She won. And that was a huge win for her because they sided with her over the put options. So some people say, well, what is that? Is that stock? What is it? What are we doing here? So how it works, a put option basically is like an underlying security right to sell stock at a certain price. Strike price is what they call it. Now, if the price, of the put option or the company's assets decrease, then the put option actually increases. So there was a lot of fluctuation with that she had alleged occurred while this stuff was happening with New Jeans. Now, the courts looked into this, and originally they were saying, well, maybe, maybe not. But this time, after a deeper dive into it, they got with her inside and looked at the evidence that was submitted and the stock at the time when all this was occurring and said that, yes, it was valid. So that fluctuated the stock option price and the money and the company's, worth at the time when all these events were occurring. And that meant that Min Jin Hyde was going to have to pay her out of settlement. And the alleged settlement is worth about 17 million US dollars. That's a huge amount of money. They also have to pay Adore because Adore was attached as the prime label to New Jeans when this was occurring. So they have to pay Adore as well. Now, in addition to that, the courts also sided with Min Jin in regards to the comparison allegations that she had alleged with New Jeans and Illit and how that was occurring when New Jeans was going through all this stuff with Hyde. She was alleging that there were very similar comparisons with how the label was marketing them, putting them out, different aspects of the music and so forth and so on. Now, the court sided with her in these allegations, not all, but some of them, saying they saw similarities between New Jeans and Illit. Now, this is significant for a couple of things because, yes, I think we have all said, could be possible, but we've seen that in a lot of K-pop groups. We've seen it, just a lot of comparison in how the style of the clothing is done, sometimes how the music is done, because they could use similar producers. There's a lot of reasoning behind this. But at the end of the day, the court said, yeah, we see some similarities there. But the bad part about it is Illit, when this was going on, was pulled into a negative narrative that they shouldn't have been. These girls were debuting, they were putting out new music, they were making their own mark. They had no control of the producers that were working with them and sometimes the content or the stylists and so forth. So, that group as a whole got pulled into this negative narrative between New Jeans, Min Jin, and it was just all messy. That was not fair to those girls in their debut, despite all this other stuff that was going on. Now, in addition to that, V from BTS is pulled into this narrative too, because now there's evidence that's being leaked that said that his Kakao talk with Min Jin, where he was just basically saying, he was being sympathetic or empathetic, as some people may call it, to the situation at hand. Maybe, maybe not. These things happen in the industry a lot. Very vague like comments. Now, the thing about this is that he says or alleges that he didn't give his consent for this to be used as evidence in support of her. Now, this is significant in a couple of different ways because V of BTS, as well as Jungkook, just won a lawsuit with regards to another company or a YouTuber that was saying these things against them, posting content that wasn't actually true, alleging things that wasn't actually true. The court sided with V and Jungkook of BTS, and that company that was posting this stuff is going to have to pay them allegedly almost 65,000 US dollars regarding the content that they posted against both of these people that wasn't allegedly true. So this is a big thing in Korea, but also with Cha Eun-woo. Now, the Korean Tax Association is filing suit against the National Tax Service as well as the reporters that leaked the story with him. And everybody knows Cha Eun-woo was going through, there were reports that came out a couple of weeks back that he was, part of this tax evasion scam with him and his mom, the company they run. That's a win for Cha Eun-woo. We are sending him great support with that. Now, SM Entertainment. SM is allegedly pursuing collection and actually seizure of the properties of the members of CBX. Now, everybody knows that this has been an ongoing issue with CBX and SM over the 10% royalty agreement that they, went into once CBX decided to do their own thing. Allegedly, SM is saying this has been going on since 2023. We haven't received anything, so therefore it's 2026. I think we have every right to go in pursuit of this. They're saying this is just business. Now, how this affects the members individually, I don't think anyone is really sure. But if it's your own personal property or your own personal business, of course, from what we see outside looking in, you're going to be affected. So we do wish that this will all settle down, because I was looking at earlier videos of the guys from CBX and with EXO. They were actually great. I loved it. One of my favorites is called Tempo. So I love that song. But I also looked at content that some of the members from CBX, they did. And, they are great. I think they have their own right to go out and do these things. But of course, now allegedly the management company just didn't work out the way they thought it was going to be. And it caused them to be maybe at a deficit. So I hope whatever they do, it gets done right. I really do. So, Cat's Eye, Mano. Everybody is wondering what's going on with her. Allegedly, she's going on a hiatus due to health issues. With the schedule that they have, these girls have emerged into one of the biggest global girl groups in the world at this point. So their schedule is constantly going and very busy. So if she needs a break, give it to her. I don't think that anyone should compromise their health for anything else, because if the K-pop industry was to end tomorrow, or the global girl group industry was to end tomorrow, she still has to have her health to keep going on. She's young. So I, am really applauding her for taking a hiatus and applauding Hyde for supporting it. I mean, that's the best happy medium, at least for me. IU. IU is known as, Korea's sweetheart. She is getting ready to do a new K-drama with none other than our lovely runner guy and Bayon Won Seok. And they are coming together to do a K-drama called The Perfect Crown. Now, in this K-drama, she's playing a chaebol who is, allegedly seeking royal status. She's got a good life, but she wants more. And he's the prince. So we're going to see how that actually comes together. NBA crossover. This is my favorite part because I love these guys. Cortis. Cortis participated in the NBA crossover event, and it was awesome. It was an event where the NBA decided that they wanted to bring the younger audience to their current audience, which is a good mix. Crossover event. Now, the crossover event has daytime activities that can go from games to, player team meetups and to artist meetups. They also have, different food vendors and different items, all these different events going on all during the day. But Cortis participated in those events and performed almost a full concert there as well during the day, and came back that night at the NBA celebrity basketball game that they had and gave a halftime performance that shut the arena down. People loved that performance. They loved these guys. NBA insiders were saying that this was what was needed for this event. So I think the NBA achieved their goal of crossing over. I am so excited for them. Was glad to see the event and wish them tons and tons of success. So, with that being said, this is This Week in K-Pop. So, thanks for joining.